friendship that'll never ever end.
Run!
It's a beautiful day in the neighborhood. Reaction Beanie 657. In that neighborhood, my brothers and sisters. Have y'all ever been in a meeting, right, at work, Bean Team? And just out of nowhere, man, out of freaking nowhere, you just get sleepy as you know what? Because that what happened to me today, y'all. Long story short, short story long, we had this meeting today at work, and the meeting was by, or led by, I should say, the head lady in charge of the whole freaking warehouse, so to speak. You know what I'm saying? The boss of all bosses in the warehouse. And she up there doing her presentation in the meeting, and it was some BS meeting about safety and all that stuff right there. But she sitting up there talking, and she going through the PowerPoint slides and stuff, and just out of nowhere, I got sleepy as hell, man. I'm talking about I was fighting for my life to stay woke, Being Team. It got to the point, it got so bad, so I thought about it, because I learned this a long time ago, that if you stand up, or even better, start walking around, it'll help you fight your sleep. You know what I'm saying? It'll help you not fall asleep if you're not trying to fall asleep right then and there. But then I thought about it, and I'm like, man, if I stand up right now, she gonna look at me and ask me, why are you standing up? And then when I tell her the reason that I'm standing up is because I'm about to fall a freaking sleep, that's when she probably gonna be like, oh, you bored? Oh, you're not paying attention? Or some craziness like that. So I was like, nah, man, I can't freaking stand up. So long story short, short story long, Bean Team, for almost a freaking hour, I'm sitting in my chair, leaning back, sitting up, moving around, just trying to stay freaking woke. It was freaking crazy. But I digress. I hope y'all doing excelente out there today. And I'm glad that you came on back to the channel once again to help with the bean. And today, we are going back to Mike from that chapter. That chapter Wednesdays, Bean Team. And the title of the video is Police Discover Runaway Teen's Horrifying Secret. Caitlin Coons. Now, I'm just wondering what Caitlin did, Bean Team. Like, seriously, man, why is she running away? Who she done killed? I don't know, but we're about to see. But before we see, y'all know what y'all got to do. Get whatever you may need. Get what you need, please. It is always a delight when we get to go back to Mike. Y'all got what y'all need, y'all ready to go? Then let's go.
Hey you and welcome, my name is Mike, and in this old video we are talking about what is once again one of my favourite subjects, and that is star-crossed lovers. They would do anything, and I mean anything, to be together. The unthinkable, it becomes pretty darn thinkable when you're in love. And also, you know, a head case. It all started when people thought a teen had been abducted by her much older boyfriend. Scary stuff. But it would then slowly be revealed that, well, you know, they say age is just a number, you know, and I mean, when I say they, I mean predators say that, but in this case, it's kind of true. Because although she was much younger, she certainly was wearing the pants. And she was certainly holding the big rock. Before we get into it, please subscribe to see new videos every single week. Now, let's give it a go.
Let's give it a go. And get whatever you may need. And it seemed like, long story short, story long, that Caitlyn then more than likely killed her mama or her daddy or both of them, her parents, and decided to run off with her older boyfriend. Now, the number one thing on my mind is how much older is this boyfriend and what is her age? And this story already just reminded me of a Mr. Ballin story from years ago, y'all. It was this couple, this young teen couple, who ended up killing the girl's mama, and they was living in the house with the mama's body still inside, and they end up taking some type of crazy selfie, and they was like celebrating what they had did or something. It was crazy. If you know what I'm talking about, you know what I'm talking about. Let's give it a go.
So the place for this one, it's a little old place, just outside of Toledo, Ohio. Ohio, once again, pleased to meet you. Name of Sylvania Township. It's a suburb home to about 50,000 people and gets an A+ in sort of everything. Nice, quiet, with kind of everything you need within a 15-minute drive. People say safety, bingo, numero one in these parts. Ain't bad things gonna happen to you in Sylvania Township. Not these days. Except, well, this one day in April of 2023 that would set off this kind of twisting and turning chain of events that would lead all the way to Mexico, if you can believe that. Buckle up, buckaroos. What really kicked all of this off, in fact, was a missing persons report. Let's start there. The missing persons report was filed May 5th, 2023 regarding Nicole D. Jones, 53 years of age, who lived in Sylvania Township. Police had gone to the home she lived in with her grown-ass son on Timbers Edge Boulevard, which quickly became Shiver Me Timbers Boulevard. They'd been sent there to do a welfare check on Nicole Jones. However, upon her arriving, knocking on her door, having a goo around the place, she was nowhere to be found.
That's kind of I read it as I'm coming down here. It's kind of a weird one.
Yeah. Christopher.Hodge.
The package on the front porch. It looks like it's been there a week. Say if it's unlocked, we're just going to go in.
Packages had been left outside for what appeared to be a few days, so there was no activity in this house.
You got my random stuff, but I would say it's your
I'm going to...
Now, the police had been requested to do a welfare check on Nicole Jones, and it seems like it was a good idea because she's obviously nowhere to be found. Because, just a few days earlier, a 17-year-old girl had texted a foster care worker that she had, just committed murder and arson. And, Nicole Jones might likely be the person she would commit murder and arson to if she was going to do it. And maybe she had.
Trying to check the safety of her. Has anybody seen her?
No. I've only seen a guy going in and out of there. I have not seen her in forever.
We got the window all the way open.
Okay.
We can just step right through it.
Yeah, let's go in. We'll go.
I mean, I don't see no...
Nicole Jones was of Toledo, Ohio, but after having worked her life as a phlebotomist at Toledo Hospital, she was now chilling and enjoying time with her nieces, nephews, and of course her son, Jonathan Jones. Jonathan was a military vet, having served from 2009 to 2013 in Afghanistan, and was now living at home with his mom. He had a couple of kids and a couple of relationships, but it appears that over the years his attempts to hold down a job hadn't been successful, and he was mostly on disability after having been diagnosed with post-traumatic stress disorder after, it appears his time in the military. It appears he had experienced quite a few IEDs and traumatic events. But in recent years, things hadn't been too swell for old Johnny Boy, let me tell you. He had been getting himself into far too much trouble with someone who was far too young for him. Like, he was 33 and he had been fooling around with a 17-year-old. A 17-year-old, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, that's too fucking young, man. I'm sorry, man. That's too young. Y'all remember at the beginning, I was like, how much older is he compared to her? You know what I'm saying? What is her age? 33 and 17? No, man. She's not even an adult at that point. What the freak?
See, there was this girl in foster care in Toledo, Ohio. Her name of Caitlin Coons, and she was a very troubled girl. And when I say very, I mean extremely. She was in a foster home and she would book it out of there. She would be Audi 5000 to any chance she got. Like a shot, she's gone. She would be running away from folks again and again and again, running away from these. Now, people would say that, the conditions, how she'd grown up was kind of horrific. But, and it seems like during one of these excursions, that's where she met Jonathan Jones. They actually met on a dating website called Mingle2. So good it got a sequel. There was a 16-year age gap between the two, so... Now, as I said, Caitlin, very troubled, difficult relationship with her parents to the extent that it led to her being placed in foster care, and she would enter into these relationships with men who were far too old for her. Or predators is a better, better term to call them. Caitlin struggled with drugs, with eating disorders, and it even led to her getting into a car accident at one point, and she said, she hit her head so hard she would develop memory issues, and I mean, it seems like she's already got a lot going on up here, so she really doesn't need a bang in her noggin. Now, the relationship between Jonathan and Caitlin would eventually lead to Jonathan getting arrested and charged with child endangerment, obscenity involving minors, and basically a whole litany of charges. This was after, they were found together, and videos and photos were found on Jonathan's devices, which depicted them, doing it. It's too gross. I'm trying to do it in a way where it's not gross, but it's just, yeah. Let's move on.
Yeah, anyway, Mike tried to say that, man. It's just nasty as freak. Seriously, man. And that's CP. At least in my eyes, that is literally CP, man. For him to have images like that on his freaking phone, oh, hell no.
He would plead guilty to this in March of 2023, and he was sent home with an ankle monitor. Jonathan Jones was due to be sentenced for this, but he missed the May 4th court appearance. And now all of them were missing. You got Jonathan Jones, no one knows where he's gone. Nicole Jones, ditto, and Caitlin Coons, who liked to run away, appeared she had run away so far nobody could find her. Had she run away with her much older boyfriend? She had actually been missing since April 18th, so over 2 weeks by the time the police actually went to the Jones home.
Did you read the same text I did? No. There's the son took the woman's car with the girlfriend. Okay, the girlfriend down there reported to her caseworker that they killed some lady and burned her house.
Oh, for God's sake.
So that's all we got. And
Sylvania police checked the Jones home on May 5th. It was completely empty, and U.S. Marshals had also arrived to help in the search.
Are you working with the detective? Is Canton?
Yeah,
okay.
It's a fugitive investigation, but then I guess
the one lady said that she killed her in arson.
Yeah.
Okay.
That doesn't obviously
so
fit,
I don't know if
I think they're supposedly they took mom's car. The lady that lives here, they're in her car somewhere.
Okay.
Supposedly.
Do we know how old she is?
It was also very, fearful because one of the child services employees had gotten a text from Caitlin. The text said she had just killed 2 people and was now on the run.
It says, I just killed 2 people and I did 2 arsons. I'm in deep trouble and they don't know I'm away from Ohio and about what and that was kind of the end of it. But
There's the money?
That's
is that her holding the money?
I don't know. I'm guessing this is her phone because clearly it says, right, Caitlin, whatever. But so Canton PD detectives are working that side of it.
Jesus. All right, that's why we're going to get a detective down here.
Hey, mom's probably in the trunk.
And what?
I said, that dude's mom's probably in the trunk.
Oh, who knows? I mean, I don't know what income, maybe she, they milked her for that, or who knows.
But I'm saying if they don't have a car, I wonder if they can see if they could put a locator to stop it at the border if they're trying to cross the
We've already done that and they got airplanes up right now.
Oh, awesome.
So, I don't know, man. I think this is definitely a situation.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, not going to look good.
No, I don't think so either.
Had Caitlin killed Jonathan and Nicole? If you're theorizing, these actually seem more likely that Jonathan would have killed his own mother and then ran away with a minor. Ran away with his, teen sweetheart because Jonathan, he had missed his court appearance in Wood County for, the previous charges he had with Caitlin Coons. After Jonathan was released after he pleaded guilty, before he was sentenced, which he missed, he was required to wear an ankle monitor, have no contact with kids, and no internet access. He was a predator in the dictionary definition. You Google it, his picture pops up.
And I just gotta point out, man, all this could have been avoided. All this could have been avoided if they would have just left Jonathan ass locked up instead of sending him home with that ankle bracelet. No, man, look what he doing. No bond, no bail. No, you got to stay in here until you got to go to trial, man. And I feel like he got to the point where he was like, F that ish. I ain't going back to trial. I'm finna get the hell away from here with my little 17-year-old girlfriend. Like, are you serious? And I'm 33, being team, the same age as him, and I can't even, like, that shit just, like, how do you even look at a little girl like that and even be doing that stuff with her? What?
It soon became apparent that Nikki, was likely the victim of a homicide, and the US Marshals Service sent out a release for a fugitive, Jonathan, and a missing child.
Well, new tonight, we are tracking a developing story as we work to learn what exactly is going on.
So we know that police are looking to get a warrant for at least one suspect. And again, as we mentioned, that there is no body as of right now. And we know that this victim is actually related to a suspect in another incident. So we came here to Timber's Edge to find out what exactly neighbors know about this case. U.S. Marshals issued an alert for 33-year-old Jonathan earlier this month. The Wood County Sheriff's Office wanted him for pandering obscene material and child endangerment. They say he was with a 17-year-old endangered child.
But it was odd. Caitlin was still posting on her Facebook, that she was still like in Canton, Ohio. These short little videos at Dave & Buster's with another older man, not Jonathan Jones, one of these other mystery old men she had met in her excursions. When police went and checked out this guy, though, he would say, nah, they were taken a long time ago. It appeared that Caitlin was trying to mislead the police as to where she was and what she was doing in, like, the stupidest way possible. It's like uploading old photos and saying, oh no, actually, that was just taken yesterday. Now the investigators were to learn real soon that Jonathan and Caitlin had actually been spotted at the Mexican border. They were getting the hell out of town. They were getting the hell out of Dodge. They were going to go for a run. They were questioned by Border Patrol. What are you guys doing here? Something a little bit suspect about what you guys are up to. But of course, it was like, well, we're actually going out, not coming in. And so the Border Patrol like, oh yeah, not our problem anymore, actually. And they were even driving Nicole's 2021 Buick Enclave. They were driving his mom's car. Stolen car.
So what happened was this dude was on bond for Wood County. The son.
Right.
He was supposed to show up for sentencing or something like that.
Okay.
This morning, the Border Patrol stops him in Douglas, Arizona.
Okay.
With a 17-year-old that's a missing juvenile.
And she's the one reporting the murder and arson.
But they also said they burned the house down too.
Right.
But obviously the house ain't burned down.
Right.
So right now...
So we have no idea where she is.
We don't.
Soon the hunt was on for the couple, and also the hunt was on for Nicole's likely body, which they had come to believe had been dumped. Remember, Jonathan Jones had been wearing an ankle monitor the entire time he was free, so they were actually kind of able to track him the entire time until he eventually disabled it when he was making a run out of the country with his teen sweetheart. But around the time of the murder, oh boy. It was on May 9th that Jonathan and Caitlin were finally picked up by Mexican authorities in Ahumada, Chihuahua, cartel capital, if you can believe that. They were picked up like they're on the side of the road, selling jewelry to try and get some money because, of course, neither of them had any cash to go. They were selling Nicole's, his mom's jewelry, which they had also nabbed when they went on the run. Mexican authorities, they were like, this looks a little bit suspect upon seeing these two gringos on the side of the road. They started questioning them. They began to wonder, are you like trafficking Caitlin Coons, into something? They then searched the Buick. They found marijuana in there, so they arrested him on that. But they also found, Nicole's credit cards, her license, her ID, and they found a backpack with what looked like blood on it. Now, the next day, as Caitlin was an underage American citizen, they sent her back to, their side of the border, and in El Paso, she was picked up by detectives. She would be asked, what happened? Are you okay? What happened to you? Did he steal you? Did he kidnap you? And of course, where is Nicole, your boyfriend's mom? Where is she?
Crazy.
So, were you guys driving the vehicle?
Yeah.
Okay.
We were driving his mom's because the mom gave us permission to drive it and stuff. And
Nikki, right?
Yes.
Nikki. Okay.
Caitlin would say she's crying. Nicole, she's grand. You know, I think last time I saw her anyway, she was like on her bed reading her phone or something. Having a grand old time. And you know what? She actually gave us all her jewelry, if you can believe it. What a lovely woman. She actually gave us all her jewelry so we could sell it. And she gave us her car. Happy days.
Terrible lies. Fuck the thumbs up, Mike. That's a thumbs down, man. This is a ridiculous story coming out of her mouth. But at the same time, I can't even blame her to even come up with something better, because this is a little child, man, who is in so much deep-ish that she don't even understand the gravity of this situation, I believe, for real. You know what I'm saying? She just don't know how much is she in. And it kind of shows you that she's still in love with David, John, whatever the damn predator name. She's like, I believe that some of this stuff that coming out of her mouth, more than likely he told her to tell the police. If the police ever catch you, this the story we gonna tell them, or something, anything, man. It's just crazy for her to expect us to believe those lies that she is saying right now. But at the same time, she is only 17 years old. Let's go.
Used her car because she gave Jonathan permission, and you know, that was it. We used most of the money he saved up or whatever to, you know, get there to Mexico. And we had a good experience.
And Caitlin would, of course, deny being the one to have sent that message saying she just killed 2 people and, like, done arson. She said, it wasn't me. I got hacked again. Dang dirty trolls.
I talked about 2 murders and arson.
This is when my ex has him right now. I can write you his name down here.
It's a true thing.
This is the one that keeps texting me, and this is back from when I lived with him. He hacked my account. He works like on the dark web and stuff.
What do you mean he works on the dark web?
Like he works on the dark web. Like, you know, he hacks for people.
But at the same time, Caitlin had seen the news reports that Nicole was likely dead. But don't know what you're on about. We didn't kill her.
No, but I want to know who killed her because she was a nice mom.
Like, I think, you know, she hasn't been seen for a while. And it says we killed 2 people. We don't know that she's dead.
Okay, but you're putting that on me when I thought that she was doing perfectly fine and everything. And I told you I didn't send those messages. He's been able to hack my account.
So what we're trying to figure out is what happened and where she could be.
But of course, pressing and pressing, Caitlin would eventually reveal the entire horror story that was her and Jonathan's relationship and what they did to his mom. Nicole did not approve of their relationship. As she shouldn't have. She was also very, very close with Jonathan, almost too close. Like, they were really involved with each other's, you know, lives. I mean, he still lived at home. Don't like where that's going. But basically, to Caitlin, she was getting in the way. Of course, Nicole didn't like her. She was underage, and her son, who she was very close with, had been getting in trouble for fooling around with her. Her son was a predator. But you know what I mean. So, well, that just wouldn't do.
And this was because she didn't want you guys to be together?
Yeah, and I think she honestly was really obsessed over him because whenever we were talking to her, you know, about us and stuff, and she was like, well, if you guys have sex, I'm going to be perfectly fine with it and stuff like that. And we were like, well, in the future, like, we're not going to ask you to have sex. Like, that's weird. Like, that's something we would talk out ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
And stuff like that. And, you know, she was just, like, always all over her son. Like, always handsy with him and stuff like that, and being really flirt-like, if that makes sense.
Like, inappropriate?
Yes.
See, of course, Caitlin had a completely different view to Jonathan than pretty much everybody else with, you know, a functioning brain would. To her, Jonathan, he was, you know, he was sweet, he was caring, he was all of these things.
I like that he's caring and understanding, and I feel like, you know, nobody is like him at all.
Yeah.
Like, I've never met somebody like him before.
She would do anything for him, anything for them to be together. So, Caitlin ran away from the foster home and snuck into the Joneses' house via a window. Nicole had no clue Caitlin was in the home. And so this is the batshit part. Caitlin gave Jonathan an ultimatum. An ultimatum. You have 5 hours to kill your mom. Tick, 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 tick. Time's a-wasting.
I told him that I have 5 hours. I ran away from an independent living house, and I told him he had $5, to kill her, and he told me that he couldn't do it because that was his mom.
So they sort of like hung out all night, talking about it, this and that, how are they going to do it. I can only imagine Caitlin just calling Jonathan like a bitch for not doing it the entire time. Until 5 hours were up. Like, she waited until the final minute. And then 5 hours were up. Okay, well, I guess I'll just have to do it myself. And she did do it herself. She was creeping around the house. Again, Nicole had no idea that Caitlin was there. One time then Nicole was, at the fridge, leaning into the fridge, getting out some munchies, this and that. Comes up behind her, starts strangling her to death. Then, after them tussling for a while, when Nicole was on the floor, Caitlin grabbed a big rock she had taken with her, brought it down, smacked her repeatedly on the head.
I strangled her out and I took her rock and banged her head a whole bunch of times. And then I told him about it and he was shocked. So then I let him give him a moment, he threw up, and then we went to go get cleaning supplies that I cashed out and stuff. And most of the way he was really struggling with it because it was his mom.
Jonathan,
you wasn't struggling with it or freaking enough. You in the damn house while this girl doing this to your mama, you let it happen. Are you serious, man? I ain't got no remorse for him. I ain't got no feeling. I don't feel no sadder for him than I don't for this girl either. Cause that 17-year-old, she know better than this. But I will just bring up the fact, we think about her upbringing, y'all. She was going through foster care pretty much her whole life. You know what I'm saying? Because I was thinking for a second, I was like, man, what her mama and daddy at? Or mama or daddy, somebody to stop her from hanging out with these old ass men and stuff. But then I thought about it, man. She been going through foster care her whole life. She ain't never really had no real mama and daddy. But him, Mr. John, I don't feel sorry for you at all, bro. You talking about, that's my mama, I can't do it. Shit, that's my mama and I ain't gonna let nobody else do it either. The hell?
Jonathan too would be interviewed. He didn't know Caitlin had confessed, so he kept the spiel up. Oh yeah, saw mom a few days ago and she was grand. I'm assuming she still is, wink wink.
Your mom doesn't deserve where she's at right now. Right. You wouldn't want that for your mother. I would hope you wouldn't want that for your mother. Never. I love my mom to death.
But then they would reveal to Jonathan, Caitlin already spoke, so cough it up. He told of how they cleaned up the home, went to Lowe's to get some tarps, bought McDonald's because, being a frickin' monster is hungry work. Jonathan told the story, which was confirmed by his ankle bracelet, about them driving around town with his mom in the trunk, and eventually dumping her at an apartment complex dumpster. Pretty grim. Caitlin would also claim to have killed another person in Arizona in a drive-by. Now, what that's about, nobody actually knows. We have no idea if she's telling the truth. Did she shoot somebody else? We have no idea, nobody else has come forward, nothing like that, nothing kind of links up. So we don't actually know if that story is true or no.
I'm taking 100% of the blame because it is the truth. I was the one that killed his mom, I was the one that did the shoot by, or whatever. I was just, after killing her, I was like, everybody else because they're always against me.
Just like we do not know what happened to Nicole Jones. Her body has still not been found. And at this stage, it likely never will be.
Got off the phone with the attorney for Nicole Jones's family not too long ago, and they're not happy with the work that has been done to recover Jones's body. If you look at your screen, this is the first photo that we're seeing of Nicole Jones. According to the family was informed by Sylvania Township Police that Nicole was missing on May 5th. They believe that they were actively looking for her until they had a meeting with the police department on May 10th where they learned that she was killed. The attorneys tell me that the family was led to believe that Sylvania Township has a location to conduct a search, and they don't understand why the department is dragging its feet.
Well, we have some new information on a teen charged with killing her boyfriend's mother in Sylvania Township. Caitlin Coons appeared in court today. A judge set her bond at $1.75 million. Coons is facing aggravated murder and other charges. Investigators say they believe she killed 53-year-old Nicole Jones last year. Court documents allege the victim would not allow Coons, who was 17, to be with her boyfriend, 34-year-old Jonathan Jones. He is also charged with murder.
Caitlin initially pleaded not guilty to the murder and, copious other charges, but later changed her mind. Both her and Jonathan would plead no contest, and both were sentenced to life in prison with the possibility of parole after 25 years. And that is the story of the murder of Nicole Jones. Who is the manipulator, who isn't? Frankly, I think them both are. Himself the predator, herself the killer. As I said, Nicole's body has never been found, so what really happened that day we will never know. Some think that Caitlin was taking the blame for the murder, and that Jonathan was, in fact, directly involved. Caitlin taking responsibility for the killing blow, as she thought, as a minor, she would get a smaller sentence. But in the end, the authorities could never believe them, and so they both got the very same. But one thing we do know is that Caitlin and Jonathan are the ultimate match made in HE double hockey sticks.
Facts.
Thank you so much for watching, folks. Really means the absolute world to me. Hope you enjoyed this old video. Next one will be up when it's up, so keep an eye out. It'll be up. But until then, please take care of each other and please take care of yourselves. Because I love you. Mike out.
Well, that was a wild one, Bean Team. That was a wild freaking one, man. And that wasn't even that long, man. It was one of the more shorter Mike from That Chapter Wednesdays, man. But I just got to say that girl ended her life before she even began her life by doing that. You know what I'm saying? 17 years old, committing murder, and now you locked up. Well, let's see. Because I started clapping at first when I heard both of them got life in prison, but then I had to wait and see how long would they have before they have a possibility of parole. And Mike said they gave both of them 25 years, so let's just say if she 20 plus that 25, she got a possibility of getting out before she's 50 years old, though. I don't know. I ain't finna sit right here and contemplate it and all that. Me personally, I hope that she don't even get out then. You know what I'm saying, man? Because at 17, even though you technically still a child, I believe you know you got enough going on in your brain at that time where I really can't even make no excuses. Like a video we watched with a little 7-year-old yesterday from the Lazy Man. Little 7-year-old killed somebody. Now that's different than 17. You know what I'm saying? So if I had the pen in my hand and had to write down her sentence, I'd give her life without parole, just like John needed life without parole. Now he seriously needed it, and I'm not so sure that the whole story went down how she said it went down and he said it went down. They could have just made that story up, because it's one thing that Mike pointed out was a great freaking point. She could have been the one saying that she the one who committed all this stuff because she felt like she was a minor and she could get away with it or get a less sentence than if he would have been charged with that stuff, with the murder. He more than likely could have been right there in that kitchen beating on his mama too. Well, he could have been the one who actually strangled his mama. Then she came and dealt the rock. You know what I'm saying? I don't trust either one of them in this story, man. So kudos to the judge and the trial, the judge and the jury, you know what I'm saying, for giving them life and the possibility of parole after 25 years. I'm good with that, Bean Team. I'm good with that. But it was just wild, man. It was wild. And like I said, I do got to point out, I ain't making no excuses, but we do got to point out just the fact of how she grew up. That's why she was around all these old men all the time, because she was running away from her foster care, or her foster parents, or her guardians at this I don't even think she was like in a real home type ish. I think she was in one of those homes where it's multiple kids that stand there and they just got guardians. You know what I'm saying? Almost like a boarding school or something like that. And she was running away from them, living out on the streets, meeting these old predator ass men, you know what I'm saying, who looking at her all crazy and doing type of, y'all know what I'm saying, y'all know what I'm talking about, doing whatever with them and they was taking care of her, you know, feeding them McDonald's like they went and ate McDonald's after they murdered Nicole. Rest in peace to Nicole too, gotta say that too. And hold on, let me finish this thought, then I'm gonna go to that thought and I'm gonna go get up out of here, man. But you freaking eat McDonald's and stuff with these old freaking predator men taking advantage of this girl. Long story short, story long, man. She really did get taken advantage of because of the situation she was in. But it don't excuse her for what she did. It don't excuse that at the end of the day. But going back to Nikki, going back to Nicole real quick. Another effed up thing about this, y'all, is the fact that her body was never found. I be hating that, man. Like, I hate the fact that she got murdered anyway, but at least give her family that closure procedure to be able to have a proper funeral, proper burial, or whatever service or whatever they want to do. You know what I'm saying, man? Like, I be hating when the bodies are not freaking found. And also, when you find a body, it can help tell the story of what actually happened, other than just having to listen to what the freak they telling you what happened. When it's already confirmed that they liars because they both came into the police station lying. You know what I'm saying, man? So we can never really truly believe that's what happened. Like when they say they dumped a body in a trash can, maybe they did, maybe they freaking didn't. I don't know, Big Team, but I digress. I'm gonna go and let y'all go now, man. Great video from Mike as always. I appreciate y'all coming on back as always. And before you leave, as always, just please hit that like button, comment, subscribe, and do all that if you ain't did that yet. And remember this: love, peace, and happiness. Stay safe. Don't stop. Keep going. Yeah.